was, each candidate holding dueling events in the key battleground state of Pennsylvania last night. So Vice President Harris making the stop in Erie, Pennsylvania, where her rally focused heavily on her campaign's push to win over more black voters. Harris laying out this agenda, which includes loans for black business owners, education opportunities, and a new health initiative focused on black men, a plan she believes will have a profound impact on the key voting bloc.
My policies include what I know is going to have a profound impact on black folks around economic policy, but everyone will benefit from them. I intend to create as president what I have named an opportunity economy that taps into the ambitions and the aspirations and the dreams of the American people.
But recent polling data shows that black voters have been shifting away from the Democrat Party, including one of the latest Quinnipiac polls that shows Harris nearly 10 points behind where Biden was 4 years ago with black voters in Georgia. Meanwhile, former President Trump holding a town hall alongside South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem in Oaks, Pennsylvania. Trump taking the opportunity to lay out his energy agenda. Watch.
We have more liquid gold under our feet than Saudi Arabia, than Russia, than any other country. I'm going to bring down your energy costs 50% in the first year. 50%. And I better do it because I'm all over the place saying I'm going to have problems if I don't get it done. But we have all the capacity to do it. Nobody else can make that statement.
However, less than an hour into the event, the town hall was interrupted when two separate members of the crowd had medical emergencies, forcing Trump to cut the night short. The Trump campaign, though, says both of the individuals fainted and they are doing okay now. As for the town hall, the president was able to come up with a touching way to end the abbreviated night.
If my guys can do it, how about we'll do a little music. Let's make this a musical fest. Turn it up louder.
This is very, very interesting. Here we are. Yes, show the fish, says Jerry. We're back. We're back here. We have word that there is electricity slowly coming on in our neighborhood, and so we are just heading back. I've made the call. We're leaving. We're going back. We'll buy a generator if we need to. I'm done. I'm done with the technical errors. I'm going back into the studio. The team has gotten the studio back online in Tampa. So the studio is back online and built out. And so we are done being sabotaged by the machine. All right. I'm sick of it. The CCP can mess with our Wi-Fi up here or whatever they end up doing. We're sick. We're going home. Done. Although we will be on the road. We have already locked in going to Madison Square Garden. Donald Trump announces Madison Square Garden rally. We are going there. We will bring you there. We're going to be doing a live in Times Square with Vivek, okay? I'm so excited about it. I'm so done with hurricane evacuation. I'm so excited to get back into the action. But you know what? I'm a total fraud if I don't put my family first, right? If I abandon my family inside of some place with gas lines, no groceries, no electricity, well, that's not very good. And I preach being a good father, so I have to care for my family first. And I want to care for this community as well because, quite frankly, we have a country to save and we're a couple days away from the election. And so we've been live every single day, even though we evacuated. I'm very proud of our team for pulling that off, even though Klein, what stinger was that? What stinger did you play? You played the debate stinger, Kamala versus Trump. I mean, it's kind of cool. Play it again. Kind of cool. I mean, actually, it's technically what we're going to talk about today. Play it again. Yeah, right. We have some important announcements, ladies and gentlemen. Klein, how'd you come up with that one? Where'd you even get this? Like, where'd you get that? We had to replay something earlier because we had a technical glitch here, and I was like, Klein, just hit the stinger, and because the Kamala debate stinger. All right, we're done. We're done with this mess. We have some important announcements. We are going to Madison Square Garden. Donald Trump. We went to Butler. We're going to Madison Square Garden. Donald Trump announced that we're going to be speaking live at a mega rally with Trump and RFK in Georgia in a couple of days. It's going to be awesome. More details on that. And we're going to be live tomorrow night for Kamala Harris's Fox News interview. Oh, man. We'll call it Kamala-geddon. And we'll be back in the studio tomorrow. So we're excited about it all. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, today is October 15th, 2024. Media prepares for Trump landslide. Kamala goes on Fox News, possibly Joe Rogan, and Congressman Cory Mills joins the show. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is Benny Show. We have been drinking a lot of blackout coffee. Here's my coffee. There it is. It's a blackout coffee. There you go. There you go, boys. Been drinking a lot of it. Got to tell you, drinking a lot of it. It's tough. Do you have little kids? You've been around little kids? It's tough to have little kids out of their homes. They don't sleep as well. Up all night, up all hours of the day. It's tough to do everything, to be like, it's tough to bring your family of 4 because my wife's pregnant on the road and the little kids, and they literally, they don't sleep. There's one of them, you put one down, the next one wakes up. They're all under the age of 4. So 4 kids under 4, technically. So let me tell you what I have been drinking. I have been drinking my blackout coffee. I brought it on the road with me. We have a good coffee maker, thank God. And I made a couple pots of it. Some of them are iced and some of them are hot in the morning. Blackout coffee is the coffee that keeps us going. 100% conservative values, committed to you and to me. They're from the great state of Florida. So an awesome Florida business that you could support here, given the fact that a ton of people have had some real rough goes. And man, I got some photos from my neighborhood. Didn't realize how many people got flooded out. Man, we'll show you more when we get home tomorrow. But my entire streets are filled with junk. The entire streets are filled with like mattresses and all this stuff that got flooded out. We had a contractor go through it and look through our house, right? Because we live next door. He lives next door, and our house wasn't flooded. A lot of people got flooded. Praise God. But we're gonna go back and then we're gonna figure out what we can do to help. Cory Mills is gonna be on the show to talk about how he is helping. But Blackout Coffee, amazing Florida company. Get them, go, drink that sweet, delicious blackoutcoffee.com/Benny, blackoutcoffee.com/Benny. Promo code Benny. You can find them on Public Square. Be awake, not woke. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got some interesting times here. Some interesting things that have been happening. And it's been a bit of a wild run right now for this current regime. Because I feel like there's an impending sense of doom. I don't know if you can sense that energy or not. I feel like there's been an impending sense of doom for quite a while about Kamala, and they've been trying to good vibes it. They've been trying to good vibes it through, and it just hasn't been clicking. It hasn't been hitting with the American people. And I think that's because the American people can spot a fraud, especially when things aren't going well. Like, the American people can tell that things aren't going great in this country, and that there's some real tearing at the seams. The stock market's at an all-time high. Okay, fine. Well, you know what's also at an all-time high? Gas prices, your grocery bills, the unaffordability of housing, the inability for people to get started in the American dream. The entire country is totally lopsided towards a ruling class, the octogenarian ruling class. Sure, Mitch McConnell's done great. Nancy Pelosi's done great. Why don't you talk to a 20-year-old about what their opportunities are? I'm really proud of this company, actually. We hire young people. We're hiring right now. If you're an editor and you want to edit short form, quick videos for us, hop on board, baby. We actually got a job opening up right now. So we hire and we bring, we're proud. I'm proud of that. It's the proudest thing at this company for me is the audience that we serve every single day. And it's two-pronged. The only way to do that is by hiring young people that actually are devoted to what they do. And this is a horrible economy for young people. it is, sure, there's a lot of people who are in their 60s, 70s, and 80s that got theirs, but it is atrocious for young people getting started. Everyone is like rubbing two pennies together. And that's why you're seeing young people break for Trump. And it's why you're going to require somebody to reverse engineer the mess that is an economy that only serves the gluttonous at the very, very tippy top. And what I mean by that are people like Mitch McConnell and Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi. Like, just think about them in your head. Like, people who've been able to grift and graft off this economy and have, like, through no merit, but through being in the right place at the right time, or just being born at the right place in the right time, have been able to do well. But the people that the economy should serve, which are the hardworking young people that want to start families and actually grow an economy, they're doing poorly. And that's, again, why you see young people, black, Latino, purple, green. That's why you see young people flocking to Trump. People can spot a fraud. Nancy Pelosi is a fraud. Everyone knows she's an insider trader and a traitor. Kamala Harris is a fraud. Kamala Harris's campaign slogan is a new way forward, a new way forward. We want a new America. We want to turn the page. There's a Kamala Harris campaign slogan. It's fraudulent. People can spot it because then when asked what she's going to do differently, she says nothing. She says nothing. She would do zero things differently. And the American people actually don't want that because we want change. And the change candidate is quite clearly President Trump. And there's something remarkable that's happened with President Trump, which is you have Kamala Harris, representative of a regime that served the last 4 years, Donald Trump, representative of the 4 years before that. So you're able to pit them both against each other. And this is the first time in 115 years that that's been possible for the American people, where you don't have to deal in hypotheticals. You are all over the age of 7 years old. 7 years ago was when Donald Trump was sworn in on the Bible. 7 years ago, you can weigh both these administrations against each other and see which one's better. And what's been fascinating to us as we watch has been a movement toward Trump from some really shocking demographics that would never typically vote Republican because of that calculus. We're going to get into it here today and talk about young black men, Latino men, the guys who are like really into, there's something that is innate and is hard-coding into a man, which is to be a provider. God puts it in us. To be a provider. The economics weigh very heavily on men. Opportunities or lack thereof weigh very heavily on men. And having somebody who understands opportunities and can provide that is a major motivator for a man. Kamala Harris, on the other hand, is somebody who clearly not only doesn't have the mental capacity to actually provide this or to reverse engineer these problems, but is somebody who wholesale will create far more problems through her ineptitude and through her imbecilic platforms that she has trotted out today. I mean, Kamala Harris has straight up racist platforms. Put it up. Put up the Kamala Harris tweet from a second ago. Kamala Harris saying she's only going to forgive black men loans. What the hell? So in a desperate attempt to try and reverse engineer the nightmare that they've created with young men, where the Democrat Party does not appeal to young men, and then by proximity, it's just not going to appeal to young women. Kamala Harris will create an opportunity agenda for black men. Kamala Harris says in this tweet that only black men will be able to apply for 100% forgivable loans. Let me explain to you something. Not only is that the definition of racism, it's wholly and completely unconstitutional. The Civil Rights Act actually, at its core, establishes that the government will not be discriminating against age, gender, race, creed, sex. One of them in there is race. The color of your skin, the amount of melanin in your skin shouldn't determine whether America works for you. The incredible thing is that this is not progressive, it's regressive. We talked about this with Obama last week. Obama sitting there saying, you better vote for Kamala Harris because she just like you. What do you mean exactly? You can see the black men behind Barack Obama being like, no, bro, this ain't it. What does that mean exactly? It means that Barack Obama, who's raised by a single mother, white mother from Hawaii, is telling black men that they need to vote for Kamala Harris, who's raised by two professors. Kamala Harris, who grew up in leafy suburbs of Montreal, parlez-vous français, who says she works at McDonald's, but can't provide any proof of that, that somehow she's just like you. That's not how this works. And you're seeing like the end state, like the late stage, like regressive, degenerate race hatred politics that they're trotting out because they're so desperate. And Kamala Harris is going to go on Fox News tomorrow. We'll cover it live. Fox News tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to cover this live because they're so freaking desperate. They're so scared about this moment. These are not the actions of people who are confident that they will win. These are the actions of people who are flailing and this close to drowning. It's just plainly racist. Kamala Harris says she's going to protect the crypto. Okay, provide 1 million loans that are fully forgivable up to $20,000 for black entrepreneurs. Bro, would you be able to say that same line for white entrepreneurs? I'm a white entrepreneur. Tim Pool's a white entrepreneur. Charlie Kirk's a white entrepreneur. Tucker Carlson's a white entrepreneur. Do they get loans? Are you going to have like a little card that like, are you going to have a little card, little melanin card? There's like a meme, right? There's like a Family Guy meme. I'm sure Jerry and Ashley can find it. It's like a Family Guy meme where they're like holding up the card to see like what your skin color is. How exactly are you going to do this? Reverse engineer this. If a Republican was saying we're going to provide whites only loans, I would disavow it. I'd say that's effed up. We shouldn't do that. Put it up. Like, because wasn't that what the Civil Rights Act was all about? Don't we live inside of like a Christian society where we're like doing our best to like not do these kind of things? All men are created equal. You read the scriptures. God created all men. God created them equal, our country said in its founding. So what the F is this? Loan forgiveness, not loan forgiveness. What is that? It's the single most radical policy ever proposed. And it's not even radical. It's not even it's not progressive. It's regressive. It's just race hatred politics. So what's the reverse of that? Like that all white people get punished? Who pays for the loans? What about Hispanic people? What about Asians? Always making a white-black thing. Like there's a lot of people from mixed race families. So what's this about? Like, did you get half your loan forgiven? There's a lot of people that have like 25% this, 5% that, whatever. My wife, she's going to kill me because I said this. My wife, we did like a 23andMe and found some shocking results. I'm not going to tell you. Found some shocking results. Okay? Found some shocking results that you wouldn't expect. You expect that we were like European mutts. That's just what, you never know. You only know like one grandparent back. You never know. It's like crazy. So what does this mean? Like the 2 and 3%? The 2 and 3% on your 23andMe? Do you get that much of your loan forgiven? This is like geneticist, racist politics at its best. Can you put the Kamala Harris thing back up? Because there's one other thing that I think is like unbelievable here. Kamala says she's going to provide free weed, legalized recreational marijuana opportunities for Black Americans to succeed. What? Who wrote this? David Duke? Who wrote this? Oh, black people like weed? What? Like, who's writing these policies? If Donald Trump produced policies like this, I mean, this is insane. This coming from the lady who locked up tens of thousands of black men for using recreational marijuana when she was Attorney General of California. I'm sorry. This is like absolute racial supremacy politics. Like, I'm going to treat my race better than all the other races. It's disgusting. Everyone, every American, no American should be able, no American can even, no one can ever justify this constitutionally. You can never justify this legally. You can't justify this morally, because if you reversed it, if this was just for Chinese Americans, or just for Hispanic Americans, or just for Guatemalans, or just for Germans, like would anybody buy this? No. It's pandering at its worst. Protect cryptocurrency investments for black men who make them know their money is safe. I'm going to read it again. I'm going to read you directly. This bullet point 3. Protect cryptocurrency investments so black men who make them know their money is safe. What? What? What does that even mean? So wait, what does that mean? So if you're a Native American, if you're living on an Indian reservation right now, and you invest in crypto, you take $5 and you buy Dogecoin, Kamala's not going to protect you? Just black men who protect in crypto? So you're living on the Navajo, I've been to the Navajo reservation. We have a documentary about Navajo reservation. Some of the sweetest people I've ever met in my life. Some young kid on a Navajo reservation, like, takes his lunch money and buys Shiba Inu. I don't know the crypto. I don't know. Goes and buys some meme coin. And then you're like, oh, we're not going to protect your meme coin investment. We'll just protect somebody who we identify as black, which is also so interesting. Like, exactly what do you mean by that? Like, can you define it? What do you mean by black? I'm so I see this. I'm so angry at it because it's like, it's so regressive. The beautiful thing about capitalism and the way that this country was formed is that merit, for the first time in human history, merit, not birth, merit, not pigmentation. Imperfectly at first, and then better than anyone as we abolish slavery and as we break society towards merit only. And then we kind of get there. Did you grow up in the 90s? You remember the 90s? Like, you kind of get there where you're like all of this stuff, all this like race, all this race hatred stuff, like stops, or at the very least is like becomes like very, very like it starts to like fade away almost because it leaves the consciousness. And every single kid that I grew up in Iowa, every single kid in my neighborhood had a Michael Jordan poster, Shaquille O'Neal poster. Nobody cared. These were like people that deserved to be honored or respected or looked up to because of their achievements. And it's a very important thing to do that. Like, wow, they're just the best. Okay. They're just really good. And not because of like anything other than absolute greatness. That's what stands the test of time. This is the opposite of that. It's saying, like, in fact, like it's almost diminutive, like Kamala's accents when she speaks to urban audiences. It's almost diminutive. It's like you need this help because of your skin color. It's regressive. It's Barack Obama saying, because Kamala comes from a certain place or looks a certain way, you have to support her. Not based on her policies, not based on anything she's done, because no one can elucidate anything she's done. You got to support Kamala. It's regressive. Bro, like reverse engineer it and say like, yo, just because Trump's white or like, let's say you had a group of orange people and you're like, yo, Trump's orange. Orange, you glad that you support Trump? Trump's orange. You're orange. Support Orange Man. I don't know who you'd be talking to. Girls on South Beach. Orange farmers. There's a lot of those in Florida. Maybe you go to the orange plantation here. You give a speech. Fruit Ninja. Like it's so stupid when you put it in terms of anything else. And it's so unbelievable that we are here, and it's such a sign of desperation. Such a sign of desperation. My team telling me that Kamala's getting ratioed for this hard. It's all over my feed this morning. I just don't know. I just don't know how you can possibly even like say that this is legal. Not only that, but how could it be morally correct? I would disavow it if a Republican was running like this. I would disavow it. Donald Trump saying his presidency was great for Black Americans. His presidency was great for all Americans, right? I see the chat. Yeah. Trump talks to urban areas. He says to Black Americans, what do you have to lose? That's what he said in 2016. And guess what? He won on that message. Because Black Americans are like, yo, like you've done nothing for us. And now Kamala trots this out. Literally trying to buy votes based on race. If any other candidate did this, if Donald Trump dared do this, if there was ever a group that was called Whites for Trump, like there's white dudes for Kamala Harris. It's the cringiest thing in the world. If there was a group called White Dudes for Trump, like what do you think would happen exactly? How many feds do you think would immediately infiltrate that group? It was probably started by the feds, probably started by the FBI. Man, I mean, it's like, we're in a dangerous spot. We're in an embarrassing spot for the country. I hope nobody buys this. I don't think anyone's buying this. We have the reactions to Barack Obama saying you got to support a woman whose both parents were PhD professors raised in Montreal. You got to support her because she's just like you. She's just like you. She's just like you. It's the antithesis. Donald Trump and I are both white. Donald Trump comes from a very different family than me. Donald Trump is not just like me because of because of where his ancestors were raised 1,000 years ago in proximity to the equator, which is where melanin comes from in your skin anyway. Like Donald Trump is not just like me. I like Trump's policies because I like them on their merit. But to say Donald Trump and me are the same person because some type of genealogy is insane. It's just race. That's just like race politics. No, I like Trump because of the results. Barack Obama, earlier this week, went up and did this exact same thing. You've seen the clip before. You've seen the video before. Have you seen the reactions to this? This is what should give you hope because this isn't working. Here are Black Americans reacting to Barack Obama saying that they have to, Klein, you got to change the background there, buddy. Saying that they have to, Barack Obama barking at them, they have to vote for Kamala Harris because she's just like you. Not because of anything she's done, but because she's just like you because she was raised in your communities, he says. An exact quote. I thought. This is the same guy who said, there's no red or blue America. There's just the United States of America. This is the same guy that was supposed to like usher in like the end of all bad race politics. All he did was accelerate it and then reverse some of the worst racist politics in the country. And it's not working. This is there's the silver lining is actually people are so done with this. Listen.
Hey, Barack Obama, as a black man, this must be sad, man. Fuck you, fuck Kamala Harris, and fuck the Democratic Party. We vote for Trump, bruh.
This message is for Barack. Ain't never did a fuck ass thing for niggas in the 8 years he was in the White House ever. Obama. Keep black men's name out your motherfucking mouth.
Man, if you want to sit your biscuit head ass down somewhere, goofy looking motherfucker, like Slender Man looking motherfucker ass, like ain't nobody trying to listen to you, bro. You didn't get the memo. The community ain't fucking with you, dog. We ain't fucking with you. We ain't got 2 words for you. Yes, we do. High and by. We are not fucking with you, B.O.
So they sent Obama to come get us and bring us back to the Democratic plantation. They sent Obama back to come get us. He insulted us. He said, I was highly offended when he said the only reason we voting for Donald Trump is because we don't want a woman in president, so we come up with, yo, nigga, shut up. Shut up.
Democrats then unleashed Barack Obama into the wild to shame us black men for not supporting Kamala Harris, despite the fact that she's yet to unveil any policies that represent our interests. Why is it okay for Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, and all these other people that supposedly look like me, why is it okay for them to get on TV and shame me for not voting for them simply because they look like me? That shit is racist, brother.
Barack Hussein Obama, the audacity of you to say to us that we are required and we better vote for Kamala Harris and that we don't want to see a woman in a position of power. You're a liar.
This message is for President Obama. First and foremost, you're not going to tell me what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. Number one, I ain't going to vote for Kamala Harris. I think that she's going to make a bad president. She's a bad vice president. Everything she does, she tries to politicize it. And she hasn't shown the fact that she wants to put America first ever. So I'm not voting for that individual.
Ladies and gentlemen, the backlash is here. It's here. And we can show you for the next 20 hours, we could show you clips like this of black Americans being like, how we are not about that regressive. Talk about not going back. Kamala Harris, well, we're not going back. Man, there's a clip out this morning. There's a clip out this morning of Kamala Harris and her speeches. And it was it was unbelievable when I saw it. Everything is so performative. Everything is so manufactured with her. You can put together a clip like this. This is you want to know why? You want to know why Kamala is losing? It's because nobody trusts somebody who can't deliver speeches without massive billboard-sized teleprompters telling her all of her thoughts to solve the problems that take critical thinking. This is why the backlash is here. This is why the collapse is finally here. Kamala had everything going for her. She had every system rigged in her favor. And this is what destroyed her. People see this. If you fall for this, it's disgraceful. If you fall for this, you're an idiot. You should never vote again. Here we go.
And when we fight, we win. And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win.
One does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree the government shouldn't be telling her what to do. One does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree the government should not be telling her what to do. But I call an opportunity economy so that every American has an opportunity to own a home, to build wealth, and to start a business. So every American has the opportunity to own a home, to build wealth, to start a small business.
I think there's a reason why Joe Biden is wearing Trump hats. It's a real photo. There's a photo of Joe Biden wearing a Trump 2024 hat. Joe Biden, according to Axios, really hates Kamala Harris and doesn't believe that she can win. Joe Biden has regularly and often, before he was backstabbed by Kamala and thrown into the mouth of an open volcano while sitting in a wheelchair, Joe Biden regularly said, I don't see any polls that say Kamala will do better. And, you know, I got to tell you, like, Joe Biden would probably be doing that. I don't like Joe Biden. Spent last 3 years spitting fire against Joe Biden, but Joe Biden would probably be doing better than Kamala Harris is right now. This article details what a nightmarish campaign Kamala Harris is engaging in right now and how Joe Biden is secretly or overtly backstabbing her by giving impromptu press conferences, by sabotaging her lines against Ron DeSantis, by trying to link Kamala Harris to all of his failed policies, and by saying effectively that Kamala was involved in all of the disasters like Afghanistan and the economics of our current state in this country. Joe Biden hates Kamala Harris. Does Bill Clinton hate Kamala Harris? Dude, Bill Clinton was out on the campaign trail yesterday and delivered a Trump ad, effectively a Trump ad, talking about Laken Riley and how Laken Riley would be alive right now if Kamala Harris was never vice president. Check this out.
You had a case in Georgia not very long ago, didn't you? They made an ad about a young woman who'd been killed by an immigrant. Yeah, well, if they'd all been properly vetted, that probably wouldn't have happened. But if they're all properly vetted, and that doesn't happen, and America is not having enough babies to keep our populations up, so we need immigrants that have been vetted to do work, there wouldn't be a problem. And he couldn't keep people all torn up and upset.
The Trump team actually made this an ad. They actually turned this into an ad. And I have so much to say on. Bill Clinton said this a couple times yesterday, that Americans aren't having enough babies. It makes my blood boil. But let's just begin by Bill Clinton just straight up saying, yeah, if these criminal aliens had been properly vetted, then Laken Riley would be alive. How does that help out Kamala Harris exactly? How does what Joe Biden's doing help out Kamala Harris? Now, maybe they're just blundering, or maybe there's something else afoot here. So you have Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, and Joe Biden all effectively engaging in behavior that is sabotaging Kamala's campaign. What did they see? What's going on behind the scenes? Jason Miller from the Trump campaign here, this is one of Trump's senior advisors, saying the only plausible explanation here is there's a 3D chess move to get Dems to drop Kamala Harris in the waning days and substitute crooked Hillary Clinton. She's running. Stephen Miller, one of the smartest men in all of politics. Every single Trump policy that you liked came from Stephen Miller's brain. Okay? Stephen Miller. Lots of DC gossip that Democrats are trying to replace Kamala Harris. This will explain the aggressive counter-programming from Biden and Clinton, explosive new plagiarism scandal, adding even more pressure to change the top of the ticket. Oh, baby. Kamala Harris hit with a big-time plagiarism scandal yesterday. It's amazing to see how the dam is breaking right now. How Joe Biden's fury at being overthrown by Kamala Harris now threatens to derail the VP's campaign. Lingering anger from Joe Biden staffers about him being forced to drop out of the race, relentless campaign from Democrats to oust him, led to tensions with Kamala Harris's campaign team. Bombshell report reveals. Tensions rise. President Trump betting markets. Big indicator. Trump up by 13 points in the Polymarket polls and 10 points in other smart money polls. Donald Trump extends his lead over Kamala Harris in daily tracking of battleground states. Donald Trump now winning battleground states. The collapse is here. Here you go. It's here. This is what the polls are showing. Here we go. Let's jump on over here to Real Clear Politics. Are Democrats hedging their bets now? Look at the Real Clear Politics average for top battleground states. Look at that. Every one of them red, except for Wisconsin. Kamala Harris plus nothing in Wisconsin. Every single one of these red. Kamala Harris, the margins matter. Which direction is Kamala going? Which direction is Trump going? The margins matter. Here we go. Arizona. Which direction Which direction? Look at the directions. Ooh, man. Michigan. Look at that. Look at the flip. Crazy. Look at the flip. Are they sabotaging? Look at this. Nevada. Look at that. You're seeing it live. You're seeing it live. Ooh, baby. And here we go. No toss-ups. So based on the polling right now, they're putting the columns together, 302 to 236 for Trump. Putting them together, baby. Wow. So it's, I mean, listen, the collapse is here. Maybe there's a reason why Bill Clinton, Joe Biden, Barack Obama seem to be panicking. Maybe because they're just stupid. Or maybe because they understand something. Maybe because they know something that we don't. Maybe they're hedging. Some of the smartest people we know tell us that what's happening right now are Democrat fundraisers are saying it's time to undermine Trump. We're not going to beat Trump anymore. It's time to just undermine his presidency. Some of the people that speak to those fundraisers, people that exist solely to serve those fundraisers and the oligarchs, are the corporate press. The corporate press, if you pay attention, have been bracing for this result on election night. And if you know where to look, you can see it happening in real time. Here we go. Clip A, Klein.
And the bottom line is this. At this particular hour, if you believe the polling, Donald Trump's going to put up the best performance with black voters since Richard Nixon back in 1960. Not 68, since 1960. That's 64 years ago. Among Hispanic voters, Donald Trump's going to put up the best performance for Republicans since 2004 and George W. Bush.
The media is preparing for the worst. They're wargaming a Trump sweep. Newsweek is even throwing around the L word. Landslide. 3 weeks until Election Day, and it's already started. The panicked phone calls.
Concern in Wilmington and greater concern amongst Democratic elected officials who I hear from daily, asking me what I know, because they know I know some stuff, and telling me explicitly and through their questions, they are worried. Okay? Doesn't mean she won't win, but that's how we head into the weekend. Okay? Democrats are worried about where things stand.
Democrat insiders are growing worried that the euphoria over Harris's entry into the race hasn't translated.
Really interesting. What does all of these voters backing President Trump from communities that have not voted Republican since the 1960s indicate? It indicates total policy failure. And no racialized free loan forgiveness is going to fix it. So, like, you're not going to fix generations of failure by saying that you're going to create pathways. Don't come for me on this. Kamala Harris says in her own plan, I'm going to create pathways so that black men can work in the weed industry. This is what Kamala says. She giggled on Charlemagne's podcast about smoking weed with Snoop Dogg after locking up 15,000 black men for smoking weed in California. Dude, nobody's voting for Kamala Harris. Nobody's voting for Kamala Harris. Everyone is voting either for Trump or against Trump. That's it. No one's voting for Kamala. She's the single worst presidential candidate to ever run for president. She's the most unqualified. She's the dumbest. Ladies and gentlemen, she's losing. Check this out from CNN. Insane. And sorry for the last clip. Apparently, Klein's now having technical difficulties. What? Boys, maybe we should just make a. Maybe we should just go to. Maybe we should make a special studio in Nashville, right? Maybe we should go to Maybe we should go to Nashville. There's a lot of good people that broadcast on Nashville. Go to places that really won't get hit by a hurricane. Okay, here we go. CNN. Donald Trump's doing better with black voters than any Republican in our lifetime. From CNN. Here we go.
And sometimes there's a trend line that I never noticed before and make me go, whoa. This is one of them, all right? This is the Democratic margin among black men under the age of 45 in presidential elections. You go back to November of 2012, what do you see? You see Obama by 81. Clinton only won him by 63. Then we're all the way down to Biden last time around by 53. A tremendous drop already. And then you take a look at the average of the most recent polls, and Kamala Harris is up by only 41 points. That is about half the margin that Obama won them by back in November of 2012. And this, I think, is, you know, when Barack Obama goes in last week when he was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, essentially talking to young black men, he made it seem like it was a Kamala Harris specific problem. This is part of a long-standing trend of young black men moving away from the Democratic Party, and Kamala Harris is just the latest to face that magnitude of younger black men going towards the Republicans.
That was most interesting here is the trend line and where some of the biggest drops happened or already happened in this case. How about black men overall?
How about black men overall? It's part of the same picture. You know, we're looking once again at younger black men. It looks like the worst Democratic performance since 1960, since JFK versus Richard Nixon.
Oh, okay. So Barack Obama screaming that you have to support Kamala Harris to young black men who's had their lives and economy and opportunities destroyed by Kamala Harris. That didn't work. Shocker to me. Saying you have to support somebody because they're from the same place you're from. Man, I've seen this one before. Boy. Laura Trump saying what we said all day yesterday. A tie means Donald Trump is winning. Here we go.
But it really matters who votes.
It really matters who votes. And look, here's the truth, Sean. If you have a dead heat right now, a tie between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, I would say that means that Donald Trump is winning. To your point, we know that Donald Trump traditionally in polling, you never see the actual reflection of the sentiments of the American people in those polls. He always performs poorly in the polls. But we, of course, remember what happened in 2016 in that very famous election. You don't go from running a basement strategy like Kamala Harris and Tim Walz have done basically for the entirety of their campaign to all of a sudden then, Sean, sending Kamala Harris on Fox News with Bret Baier. If what you're doing is working, you don't send Tim Walz out to embarrass himself in some sort of a pretend faux hunt if what you are doing is working, because what they are doing is not working. We can all see it. These two are phonies. These are phony candidates for whom no one voted. This is a phony campaign. Kamala comes out with her phony accents all the time. They are phony, Sean, right down to the real camo, the real tree camo hats, the Harris Walz hats that you constantly see them forcing their surrogates to wear out there, as though it's going to trick the red-blooded men in the United States of America into saying, oh, wait, they got the real tree camo hats. I can vote for these two.
They do think we're so dumb. This is my favorite. This is my favorite meme from yesterday. They do think we're so stupid. They're like, oh, he's wearing a camo hat. He's just like me. You know, it's like this, they talk down to black voters. They talk down to white voters. Why would anybody support this? Why would you support the people that clearly don't respect you? And I would argue, based on the hurricane responses, we're going to talk about that with Congressman Cory Mills here in just a second, like actually hate you. The panic is real, though. Mika Brzezinski, yesterday, gave a impassioned meltdown stop, like an actual, she started crying. We haven't seen this in a very long time. She actually started to cry real tears on air. That's how you know. They're preparing. And we've been preparing. We've been preparing you. We've been saying that we are going to salt the libs. We've been preparing them. You can't have this much salt. You can't have the amount of salt that's going to happen on election day. You can't have that much salt. It'll overload your body. You need to build up. You need to capacity build the salt. That's why we salt that lib. We've been salting libs for years. This is one of my favorite ones ever. Please, ladies and gentlemen, get your salt shakers out. And then Cory Mills will be on to join us right afterwards. Mika Brzezinski crying real salty tears live yesterday. Ooh, it's going to be delicious on election day. Salt that lid.
Offer up
So sure, offer up all the ideas of what more Harris could be doing in these few remaining days before the election. At the same time, it's actually you, the American voter, who needs to step up. Truly look at the choice before us. Listen to Donald Trump's speeches. Truth over lies, democracy versus fascism, or something like that looks like it. Your interests rather than revenge for Donald Trump's ego. The rule of law versus Donald Trump's lawlessness, kindness versus cruelty. If you are concerned about those things and are worried Harris could very well lose, well, do something. Get to work. As Barack Obama said in Pittsburgh last night, don't just sit back and hope for the best. Vote and help get out the vote. If we care about this experiment called America, the search for a more perfect union that has the possibility of being ever more perfect every day. Don't despair. Don't be discouraged. I mean, you can be, but don't just be. Don't just criticize. And women, I'm talking to you because this is about getting back our 50 years of rights so our daughters can be safe at the doctor. We know better. We know better than to wait for someone else to get this job done. We're women. We always come through for each other. So let's not miss this opportunity to step up for women, for families across the United States of America. And if you're frightened by the option of Donald Trump, don't just talk about all the things you think the Harris camp is doing wrong. Get to work. I know women will.
Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for some of the technical issues on the show. I thought it would maybe just be me who would be having these issues, but apparently it's, well, the entire team. Of course, we are running some of the show through our studio in Tampa. Maybe there are just still some glitches there in Tampa. We'll see. Cory Mills will be able to talk with us about what's happened with the hurricane here in Florida and some of the greater overall relief efforts that are really encouraging. Cory Mills, Congressman, joins the show live now. Cory, what's up, dude? How are you?
What's going on? Doing well.
Good. Guys, let's get in the right format here, please. Okay, so we have had a interesting doing the show live. I got to tell you, from evacuation zones, no fun. We're heading back to Tampa. Power is slowly being restored. Order is slowly being restored throughout the state of Florida. Give us an update.
Well, yeah, so FPL and Duke Energy has been doing an amazing job, but the governor, as well as from Kevin Guthrie and the emergency management teams, have continued to escalate and ramp up the support and resources throughout the entire state, even calling in additional resources from outside the state as well. So we're seeing a very quick recovery, nothing uncommon. Governor DeSantis is an absolute amazing leader when it comes to these types of natural disasters. Florida is always very well prepared. Something we're not, kind of unfamiliar with are these types of events. And so even since 2006, modifying building codes to ensure that we can withstand certain things is vastly improved. And so you're seeing where that turnaround, that kind of return to normalcy, that ability to rebuild, like we saw in Byron Donald's district after the horrible hurricane that hit Southwest Florida. You're really seeing where Florida's kind of taking the lead. And this is a big juxtaposition to what we saw in North Carolina. And again, this is why leadership matters. You kind of were talking about that maybe inadvertently with regards to Kamala Harris. I mean, leadership matters. People see leadership response. People see what the country looked like before in comparison to now. And I think that that's what everyone's going to be deciding upon come November 5th, is that how do you truly want to see this nation? How do you truly want to rebuild? How resilient are we as a nation will all be determined November 6th after that election date. It
could have been way worse, actually, here in Florida, but competent leadership saved this state, and we're able to head back. We got news that they're up fixing the power in our neighborhood, so we're back. I'm done. I want to go home, right? And I know that there are still some gas lines, but there was not the catastrophic loss of life. You've seen both responses, and we were talking also with a first responder yesterday in studio, and it's like, dude, this leadership does matter. It saves lives. And what happened in North Carolina can only be described as total incompetence at this point, right?
Well, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
I mean, look, and here's the thing, Benny. Any first responder can tell you that response time matters. It's why we have the golden hour and the platinum 10, which is your response time from an actual incident, an injury, in our event. It's the same thing when we think about our states. And so the amount of delay that took place in Western North Carolina was abysmal. The amount of the failure in leadership that was there, the amount of failure in federal response was absolutely atrocious. And that's what's resulted in an increase in the actual fatality list. And so, you see a very different, again, this is kind of what I say, even when we're looking at the presidency or you're looking at candidacies, which is that look at the vast contrast between the two things, the two states, the two individuals, and you'll see what actually is coming to fruition. I mean, look, when I was in Western North Carolina, I dropped over 23,000 pounds worth of supplies, everything from food, non-perishables, waters. You donated cases and cases and cases and pallets of water that we were able to put in place there. But even things for type 1 diabetes, we were able to drop insulin, drop oxygen for those who actually were out of power, drop Starlink system. Elon Musk has been absolutely amazing, giving free coverage for all the hurricane impacted areas throughout the end of the year so we can help with connectivity and continue to file our forms to get the actual necessary local, state, and federal assistance. Here in the state of Florida, we did evacs, we did search and rescue missions. We've been dealing with delivering trucks of food and even things, Benny, and you have kids and I have a son. Like, these are families who've lost everything. A child having a toy or a teddy bear to hug gives such a morale boost. And I think that people take that for granted. And I think that these are the types of small responses that we need, but also, our Florida highway patrolmen who are actually out there escorting these vehicles who are coming out of state to try and get the necessary resources and responses. We wanted to provide them the Starlink systems because Verizon was down in certain counties, which Jimmy Petronis, the CFO, had pointed out with regards to Polk County, Florida. So, it's just making sure that we step up. This is about Americans helping Americans at the end of the day, Benny. This has nothing to do with waiting around for the federal government to get off their hands and actually do something. We know we have FEMA. We know we have Disaster Relief Fund. We know we have the National Flood Insurance Programs. I was actually one of the signatories on Discharge Petition 11 when it came to forcing the funding of DRF because they didn't care about Maui or East Palestine, Ohio. They didn't care about Florida. They cared about Ukraine. They cared about Taiwan. They cared about all these other nations. And that's why this is really about putting America first. And that's what Americans do best.
Yes. So it's amazing. You didn't ask the race of the people that you were there to help, right? You didn't go up to the doors and say, okay, if your skin color is or isn't this, I will or will not help you. This is what Kamala Harris is up with a plan today to do.
Well, Benny,
I spent the entire raging about
whether it was Afghanistan 2021, Israel 2023, Haiti 2024, Western North Carolina, Florida 2021, or even Florida now. Never once did I ask, what's your political affiliation? Who did you vote for? What race or what religion are you? It doesn't matter. If you're a blue passport holding American, you deserve the support and response of your federal government. And if Joe Biden and Kamala Harris wasn't willing to do their job, then I'm going to step up and do it for them. And I've proved that time and time again. Look, 255 Americans that we rescued out of Israel before they did a single thing. 23 Americans and 59 children out of Haiti before they did a single thing. First overland successful rescue of Americans out of Afghanistan 2021. 5 days on the ground in Western North Carolina before I saw a single FEMA truck. So look, at the end of the day, we have great Americans who step up. Glenn Beck, Mercury One, you did a tremendous amount to help out. I know Florida is your actual home state, but you actually stepped up for Western North Carolina. So it's about Americans helping Americans. And that's really what this is about at the end of the day.
What do you say to this? What do you say to this Kamala policy that I'm going to forgive loans for people just based on their skin color? It seems fundamentally unconstitutional.
Well, it's not only unconstitutional, but think about it. You're trying to do financial equity now. We're trying to now look at it and say, you should get certain money based upon X, Y, and Z, which is not how much you need the money, how you're impacted, but what's your skin color, what's your age, what's your gender. But then again, look at the trend line that you just showed a few moments ago, where Kamala Harris is actually losing the minority vote. You just saw in Las Vegas a massive turnout of people who came out to support for Hispanics that are actually switching over and voting for President Trump. You're seeing South Texas, Texas 34 as an example, who's starting to trend a little more red, which is Vicente Gonzalez's seat, which has been blue, which is now actually +4 for Trump. So you're seeing a big shift here, and it's because people have been promised over and over and over. Obama promised that if you vote for me, I'm going to do more for the minority population. He didn't. He had the HBCs coming to him every single time begging for money per year. You had the same thing under Clinton. You had the same thing under Bush. You had the same thing under Biden. So what's happening is people are tired of being bamboozled. And they said, you know what? I continue to be promised over and over and over. I've watched my parents get promised things, that underserved communities are going to be better taken care of, that HUD's going to do a better job. And the only time that's actually come to fruition was under President Trump.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, this wouldn't withstand an actual constitutional challenge, right? Like, you couldn't actually possibly do this.
No.
This is by definition
they don't care about
racist.
constitutionality. They even did the tuition bailout fund after the Supreme Court ruling told them that they don't have the authority to do it because they're bypassing Article 1 of legislative branch. And they did it anyway. So we know that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have both said that our Constitution is not absolute. America is waking up to the fact that they don't care about constitutionality. They care about power. They care about greed. They care about the uni party and the deep state and the admin nanny state growing to an unsustainable rate that will diminish all of American liberties and freedoms. That's what they care to advance. And that's what we're trying to defeat. We need to limit government. We need to abolish a lot of the federal government's rights and return them back to the 10th Amendment state and individual rights. I'm a big 10th Amendment absolutist. I believe in the idea that more should be returned to the states and individual rights. Our state legislators, our county council members, our commissioners, our mayors. I mean, all of these individuals should be more empowered than the federal government who's continued to fail us repeatedly. And so that's why I do what I do, is because it's the right thing. I want to step up, but also, Benny, I want to bring confidence back to the federal government that not every one of those 535 members just continue to do what's necessary for re-elections. Some of us do it because we truly care about the American people.
I think the mood of the country has completely changed. I think people are ready for Elon Musk to come in and cut 80% of the government workforce.
Absolutely.
So you've been in Washington, D.C. You have a mind for logistics. How does that even begin to happen?
As far as getting things into the states and then
Elon Musk coming in and cutting 80% of the government workforce. How?
Well, I think that's pretty easy. You first got to come in and start imposing the existing laws, things like the Mission and Accountability Act of the VA. That was something that President Trump put in, which is the Accountability Act. Imagine this novel idea that you can fire people who aren't doing their jobs. That's actually one of the things that he came in and done, and that the Biden administration isn't even imposing. But we also have to start stripping out things from these blanketed departments. You know, it wasn't until George W. Bush did FEMA even sit under Department of Homeland Security. And, you know, same thing with the Secret Service. That could be stripped out. The FBI's scope could be narrowed to where they're not focused on so much of the intelligence and spy and pry assets, but looking at things like stopping child pornography, looking at going after sex traffickers, looking at the actual ability of what the FBI originally did with domestic investigations. You know, we should be doing the same thing with our IC communities. We should be looking at repeals of the Patriot Act, repealing things like Section 702 of FISA Title I that's been abused 287,000 times to spy on Americans. That's what Crossfire Hurricane was actually weaponized under when it came to targeting the Trump administration. And so we have to start looking at areas like the Department of Education. I'm fine with that going away and going to the individual states. EPA, it's regulating and over-regulating our businesses to stop the private sector from thriving. So we have to deregulate things by using it stuff like the REINS Act, which Kat Kamek had brought to the table, which looks at permit reforms to help economic growth strategies. We can't cut our way out of this economic deficit. We have to grow our way out of it. And so we have to think about, where's the biggest expenses? Well, it sits in Washington, D.C. So let's start there at the central hub of where the problem is. Let's start making the necessary cuts, because more government does not mean better governance. And that's the thing that we have to remind ourselves of. And President Reagan actually said it best: the scariest words you'll ever hear. I'm from the federal government and I'm here to help.
So Kamala Harris using a bunch of fake accents, that's not going to do it.
Well, I'm just waiting to see the next series. I mean, right now she's got a great career in acting, because, I mean, apparently she's absolutely just on fire with, she can do a country accent, she can do an Asian accent, she can do a Hispanic, Latino accent. I mean, I've never seen so many different accents in my life. So again, it just goes to show, though, so this is the same woman. I want to remind people, this is the same woman who during the debates against Joe Biden in the presidency said, I believe the women who are actually accusing Joe Biden of sexual harassment, sexual assault. Then when she gets picked as VP, they ask her, do you still believe that? She goes, come on, this is just politics. So she will do anything. She will lie and say anything. She will put on any accent possible in an effort to try and go ahead and sway voters because she thinks we're stupid.
Accent switch Kamala. One of our favorite memes. Maybe we'll play and get a live reaction. Okay, really quickly here. If you do go on Fox News quite a bit, Kamala Harris is going to go on Fox News tomorrow. What's your question for her?
You know what? There's actually a couple people who've been posting online. And one of the gentlemen I just watched his video said, if I had one question for Kamala Harris, this is what it would be. Why was it that you were willing to allow me to serve life in prison when you had evidence that could actually free me, and you refused to bring it forward until you were actually forced to by the state of California? And there's over 150 black males who were actually sentenced to nearly life sentences or death sentences, where she was forced to release the evidence to actually get them to be freed. And so I think that the first thing is that how is it that you care so much about minorities when you are the biggest one to try and put minorities behind bars, marginalize the black males that were in your own communities, and now you're trying to say that you're going to do more?
You know, she can switch her accent, right? Like, so you do know that. So, I mean, that's
Well,
pretty.
apparently, if you just say her name wrong, that's enough of an offense that you're allowed to lash out like MSNBC or CNN or any of the others, right? So that's what they did to Nancy Mace whenever she said Kamala as opposed to Kamala.
I think it's going to be.
These are the big problems on the table, Benny. It's not economics, open borders, death and fentanyl, angel families, national security, disaster response. No. It's how do you pronounce my name? And it's because they see the polls. Benny, those polls look horrible for Kamala Harris. She never got the DNC conference bump. She never got the Mike or the Waltz, VP pick bump. She's declining every time she goes on, any TV show, whether it's The View, whether it's, these kind of trashy, salacious, sitcom type things. So every time that she gets in front of the camera, that's actually a benefit for President Trump, because she always does the same thing when it comes to her gaps. And let's be clear. It's time to unburden what has been done. And so, this is all she's going to sit there and go on is the talking points. And I think that you're seeing her own party start to slowly turn on her, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, all the smart money is against her, and multiple Trump advisors are saying, they may switch her out for Kamala for Hillary. They may switch Kamala for Hillary. You don't know.
It wouldn't surprise me. They got the same amount of votes.
That's right. And the whole thing is kabuki theater. So who cares if it's a different Muppet, right? It's
Exactly
the
right.
machine stays the same. And this is what we're fighting against, what you're fighting against. You've seen the failures up close. Ladies and gentlemen, nobody does more to help the American people and to restore confidence that our Congress is actually working for us than a member of Congress who actually does work for us. Cory Mills. Go follow Cory Mills right here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, hold on. Whoa. We've had some technical difficulties getting the show back online in Tampa, Florida. So our apologies, Congressman. Here we go. There we go. There's it. What do we got here? Almost 200,000 followers. We can do it. Almost 200,000 followers, Congressman. We're going to do it today. Rock and roll. Thank you. And
Thanks,
I'll
Benny.
be in Madison Square Garden. You should totally go to that Trump rally with
Let me know what you need. I'll be there, brother.
Madison Square Garden. Let's go. See
All
ya,
right.
Cory.
Take care.
Can't be wrong. 200,000 Americans. Can't be wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be going to multiple events. It's hard to consider this, considering that we have been technically away from home. But we're gonna hit it hard for the next 23 days to the election. The energy is on our side. We've shown you dozens of polls this morning. The collapse for Kamala Harris is real. The media are starting to panic and cry on air again. Make them cry again. It should be the final slogan. Trump's had good slogans. Trump slogan, too big to rig. I love that slogan. Trump's had good slogans. Make them cry again. The salt, it fills my cup. It runneth over. Actually, I need a refill right now. The salt, it runneth over. Well, don't you want the sobbing once more? Don't you want the tears of salt? Don't you want the salty tears? And by the way that it works here is if Donald Trump wins 3 swing states, it's just done. They're just going to stop rigging the other ones. It's just done. They're going to give up. You saw this on election night in Virginia in 2022. Republicans won, and they stopped the rigging. They stopped it. Bank your vote. Go in, vote early. The reason why you want to vote early is because if you get your vote, there's systems that determine, you can see who's voted, right? You see which households have voted. Republicans can then the Trump team can use resources to go out and get other votes. If you go in and vote early, it allows for resources to be poured into getting more Republicans. There's more of us than there are of them. And now, if every Trump supporter becomes a Trump voter, we win. Let me say it again. We've shown you that Donald Trump has all the support, of the American people. Now we need to be the voters for Trump. Trump will go on Joe Rogan podcast. It's going to put a bow on it, man. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be an exciting time. Today, Today, we're gonna go to this dude's house. Do we have the video? We have the video of the bro's house. I drove by this guy's house, and he had this giant Trump sign up. And apparently he gets fined every single day. So I'm heading right over there. It's like down the road here, a couple miles. I'm heading right over there. He's going to give me a giant tour of his Trump sign. Because we're up here in the Panhandle. We might as well just do it. This is, you load this as a play-beside. I want everyone to see this. I want to carry in this energy. This is what MAGA maxing looks like. Put a Trump sign in your yard. Wear your MAGA hat. Out in the streets. This is what MAGA maxing looks like. We must be MAGA maxing. Load it, throw it up. Ladies and gentlemen, again, we'll win if we carry forward this energy. Kamala doesn't have any of this energy. I'm going to go tour this dude's house. We're going to toss it. We'll toss it up.
Waiting
we'll
for
toss
them
it.
to turn the power back on in Tampa, and we're driving down the road, and check out what we find. Look at that. Oh, yeah. I have a Trump sign in my yard, but it ain't nothing compared to this. Check this out.
Oh, yeah. Look at the other side. You missed.
Legend bulletproof. You missed. That's so awesome.
This dude, I'm gonna pause. This dude is like, he wasn't speaking English, right? He was speaking, I think, Spanish to his family. There's a lot of people who are, visiting from around the world up here, and he's speaking like Spanish to his family. And he drives by and he goes, "Trump, Trump, Trump." It's amazing. That's my fake accent, by the way. Accent switch Kamala. Accent switch Benny. Okay, this is my fake accent. This is my Spanish accent. Trump, Trump, Trump. Hard to hear.
People just chanting Donald Trump as they walk by, as they roll by.
That is next level. That's the energy. That's how you win. Amazing. I hope they do that to the White House, honestly. Or get back in. 25 days. 25 days. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna go chat with that dude. He gets fined $50 a day. $50 a day for his Trump signs by the county. So it's amazing. We're gonna go visit that dude, and we'll put it up on the channel as soon as we rock and roll. So yeah, that's the energy. Carry that energy through to election day. We win. Ain't nobody buying accent switch Kamala. Do we have the meme? Might as well. We might as well, ladies and gentlemen. All right. If we have the meme, I got to tell you, we'll play the meme. This is my favorite meme this is my most recent favorite meme. My favorite meme of all time. My most recent favorite meme. Jerry would have his feelings hurt.
Who needs
very badly.
personality when you can switch who you are at the push of a button? Yes.
Okay, hold on. Little trigger happy. Ladies and gentlemen, we are running the show off of effectively our mobile phones right now. We had catastrophic failure in our studio. Our studio apparently is not back online. Thought we had the studio up. Killer Klein completely. I'm glad the show didn't go down. Killer Klein. This is why we have major redundancy, and the great ALX has built out a wonderful team running the entire show from our cell phones right now. So there you go. It's running everything from the cell phone. The studio's in Tampa. Had catastrophic, it seems like a catastrophic technical failure. Still out of the studio in Tampa. Still sort of underwater, right? Pulling everything back up by the bootstraps. Running from our mobile phones. Patriot Mobile is our cell phone that we have run our program from today. We talk about it a lot. Patriot Mobile rolling with us on the road. We are all on the road. Some people are back. But many on the road right now. Running the program, however, ladies and gentlemen, Patriot Mobile keeping us online. We say Patriot Mobile keeps us online. Very rarely do we say it while Patriot Mobile is actively keeping us online. So it's cell phones that have kept the show live today. We're going to be so happy to be back in the studio. We're going to be kicking the tires, Klein, on the studio today, and making sure that we are ready to rock tomorrow as we will head back tomorrow. Go to patriotmobile.com/Benny. Call 972-PATRIOT. Right now, get a free month when you use the offer code Benny, the producers are literally running the show from our Patriot mobile phones right now. So there you go. Can't get a better endorsement than that. All right. Okay, here we go. Accent switch Kamala. Don't know if it was made by a Patriot mobile phone. Whatever it is, it's glorious. Here we go.
Swish Kamala. That's right.
Oh, hello, young lady. Quite a marvelous day, innit?
Why does she talk so weird? Let me play with her.
Well, hey there, little nugget. I'm going to be the first black female president of the United States of America.
Man, this doll sucks.
Accent Switch Kamala can emulate any accent you like, as long as it grants her credibility.
A bonjour, tu aimes les croissants?
Merde américaine.
Guten Tag, Sie lieben ein Bratwurst? Ufta, 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 da.
Luke, I am your mother.
Sid, Swish Kamala. That's right.
But wait, there's more. All new Accent Switch Kamala comes with 2 bags of campaign money, a blind eye for illegal immigration, and her own multi-laugh 3000 generator. Laugh in every way possible. Let Accent Switch Kamala turn your life into a complete circus.
When you give me more money, like Uncle Joey did.
Don't you wear a little mad? The money's coming.
I don't understand.
Oh, excuse me, honey.
I meant to say, the money is coming. I love ice cream, Kamala map.
It's Accent Switch Kamala and brand new Tampon Tim.
You know, my grandma always used to say, Kamala Janu, please wash your hands so we can eat our chicken masama.
It's Sid, Swish Kamala.
Something about the Joe Biden. It's something about the Joe Biden. I like ice cream. What a clown show! What a circus! We weren't expecting hurricanes, man. We don't know. We weren't expecting assassination attempts. We weren't expecting to go to Butler a couple times, right? We weren't expecting Joe Biden to drop out. Some people were, but who knows? Who knows? The insanity. But we know one thing, that God is constant and will be immovable. And that in a time like 2024 is the most comforting thing. God is immovable and we can stand on that rock. Ladies and gentlemen, that is why we do our verse of the day. No matter where we are in the world, no matter what's happened, we do our verse of the day. And that gives us something that is rock solid to carry forward on, and the hope and the truth and the uplifting that we must have to carry on. All right, here we go. From Proverbs 21. There is no wisdom, no insight, no plan that can succeed against the Lord. The horse is made ready for the day of battle, but victory rests with the Lord. We can do we can try everything, that we can to like keep the show online and do whatever, we do our best around here with what we have. But man, we've been throwing a ton of curveballs this year. The battle is the Lord's. Victory rests with the Lord. Set that on your hearts today. Victory rests with the Lord. We've been walking around, got a lot of people coming up and being like, Trump gonna win. Last night at the restaurant, waitress, Trump gonna win. On the streets, the realtor walked up to me and was like, hey, is Trump gonna win? Like, dude, God's got us, Like, these are the things that you turn over to God. You do all the work. The horse is made ready for the day of battle. Do the work ourselves and then trust in God. And then you will sleep like a baby. Well, actually, don't say that because my babies haven't been sleeping. I'm happy to get them back in their beds. Any parent knows this. There's no such thing as vacations when you're a parent. There's just family trips. Okay. And at the end of those family trips, you're ready to go back home. So we say goodbye to you, Benny Cuda. We say goodbye to the Benny Cuda. All right. Goodbye. It's been real. It's been real. But we're going freaking home. We're going to do it live. We're going to do it live tomorrow. In this, the greatest country on earth, America. March with us. Thank you so much for sticking with us through all of this. We're going to batten down the hatches and be ready to go from Benny Studio Command tomorrow. Kamala-geddon on Fox News. That's when we'll be live. 5 p.m. tomorrow, we'll be live. We'll see you then. It's your boy, Benny. See ya.
Show where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade. Cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing liberty to life. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade. Cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light.